What's up YouTube? This is Sahil with another video. Again, I'm continuing with the Headphone Royale series, and this time I am reviewing the Bose Mie2i. These are Bose's in-ear edition headphones that also have the iPhone mic and remote control. I just want to start off by saying that, for one, these retail for $129.99 with the iPhone control, but without it, they're about $100. So I think it's just ridiculous that they charge $30 just to have this iPhone control and mic. And all the headphone companies are doing this, and it's insane. Money doesn't grow on trees, and $30 for an extra piece of plastic and a cheap little mic. Come on. I mean, I can get a mic off eBay and splice it into a pair of headphones, and it'll probably sound and work the exact same way. And that mic will probably cost me no more than $1. So I'm very frustrated about that, and all of them do that. Alright, let's get started. Well, I want to start with the accessories. Of course, Bose gives a case. And I love accessories, guys. That's what I'm about. So as you can see, it says Bose on there. It's a black finish. The whole thing is matte black. Can't really see the Bose, which is not a bad thing. I mean, you want to keep it minimalistic. The inside is fairly soft. Has a soft material. Could be a little softer. I have seen other cases that have much softer and better material on the inside. That being said, it does its job. Problem is, this thing is huge. I don't know if you can see this, but this thing has to be about an inch high, probably about, I don't know, 3 to 4 inches long, and 2 inches wide. I mean, that's like triple the size of an iPhone, and, I just don't see myself using this case at all. I guess when they made it, they intended to have people carry their portable music devices inside of this case, or maybe even put their iPhone inside of this case. I wouldn't want to put my iPhone in this case with the headphones and then put it in my pocket, because it's a little big for especially tight pockets. And then you never know. I mean, your iPhone could get scratched in there. Same with your iPod. So I would probably just either get a different case for the headphones, or just wrap them around your phone and try to have the buds stick out of your pocket. That's usually what I do. If you wrap them around your phone and keep the buds in the pocket also, the buds can scratch the phone itself, and the buds can get damaged when you're moving or sitting. So I usually wrap them around the phone and then have the buds actually stick out of the pocket. And it's not the safest thing, but it gets the job done. And of course, these are not cheap, so I'm going to stop doing that. I need to find a good case. After this series is over, I'll take care of that. So let's start with the build quality. It has the same gold tip that I have on the Bose on-ear headphones. So I love this tip. It's a great tip. It works very well. It lasts a long time. And of course, Bose's product support is excellent. With or without a warranty, I have heard people getting great service. The cable has black on one side and white on the other, and when it gets twisted, it has a sort of crazy yin-yang look. So I mean, that doesn't go with the minimalistic appeal that Bose typically goes for. So I would have probably preferred an all-black cable. But colors and being cool and bold doesn't bother me either. Just that being said, if you're older and you don't want to stand out in the crowd, these might not be the cable for you. Moving on up, as you can see, I have a little bit of a tangle here, but nothing too serious. The cable itself is fairly thick and keeps itself untangled fairly well. So if you give it a quick little jiggle, it's untangled. So here you have the shirt clip, which to me is useless, but a lot of people use it, especially when they're active. It has the headphone, the cable, management thing, I guess. I think it's called the yoke, and it keeps it together, which is actually why this got tangled. Again, sometimes I forget to put that up. Problem is that cable management thing only goes up to the remote. Then after that, these two parts get separated, these two pieces of cable, and that can cause a problem. So I'm upset about that. I really wish it was more like the Apple earbuds, where it just detaches and it can attach back at the top. So the mic, again, cheap plastic, so I don't know why anybody would pay $30 extra for this, but the buttons are very responsive, and no complaints in the audio quality or anything of that sort. The buds are really, really well constructed. I dropped these on my desk a couple times, and I heard a nice clunk, which means that, it's made of hard material. I'm pretty sure it's plastic, but it did sound like metal. And they're really light. The buds, the silicone tips are fairly strong. They're not flimsy. You can really feel the rubber. And it came with a series of tips. These are the new tips where they have this little ear band here, and this goes basically, it touches the back of your ear and gives it a more secure fit. I do like these. It's pretty nice. I'm not a fan of in-ear canal phones, even though that's what those are the majority of the headphones I'm reviewing. These are the ones that are not in-ear canals, and they're not noise isolating. And Bose does not advertise them as noise isolation headphones. That being said, you can hear a lot of outside noise, which is annoying, but to me, they're more comfortable because throwing something all the way deep in your ear, that's irritating, and it can cause a lot of pressure, and it can also damage your ear. That's really dangerous, and I like to avoid that. That's why I use my over ears. So I like this design because they're basically like normal earbuds, except with a little bit more of a inner ear design, and they won't damage your ears as much, and they are fairly comfortable over long periods of time. That being said, let's get to the audio quality. I was not very happy with the audio quality on these. I think that the trebles are lacking, and I really am looking for a pair of earphones that sounds really similar to the Bose on-ears. And I had high expectations for these because they are Bose, and I love my other Bose, and they just didn't come very close. The trebles were just not there. The dynamics in the instruments, especially in the high pitches, was just not there. Even in the mid-range, I just didn't hear the clean sound that I was looking for and the separation in the instruments that I was looking for. It was really good in the mids, and it wasn't bad in the lows, but definitely nowhere near the amount of bass that you get with a pair of in-ear canal phones. Again, because they seal off your ears and the driver actually comes closer to your ear, you will naturally get more bass. So the bass is there, and the mids are there, but I would say that they are lacking in highs, and to be quite honest, I was very, very unhappy with the sound. But it's something that you would have to listen to yourself and see if you like. If you can live with the lack of noise isolation and you prefer the comfort and, of course, the reliability of Bose and the easy availability of these headphones, these would be great for you. But there are a lot of other options now in this price range, whether it be $80 or $130. There are so many more headphones that you can get nowadays. So I would definitely look at your options and try other ones. And I'm glad I did that because a few years ago there weren't many other options in the high-end in-ear buds. These were one of the only ones, especially if you were a consumer and you just went to the local Best Buy, and these were pretty much the only ones you could find. That and some Sonys, but even the Sonys were not as expensive as these. So most people bought these. But now there are so many. You're talking about a bunch by Monster, a bunch by even Sony stepped up their game, and so many other companies. Klipsch, of course, and then Beats by Dre, also Monster. There's so many other options, so definitely take a look at those options before you buy these. So, final thoughts. I had very high hopes for these Bose headphones because I knew that their on-ear design, semi-in-ear, as I would like to call it, would be very comfortable and definitely something that suited my needs and was safer for my ears, because I consider my ears probably the most precious thing. I consider everything I have very precious, but I know the ears are very important, and I like to take care of everything, every part of my body, and it's just so easy to damage your ears, and our generation, we will soon see that by the time we're 50, 60 years old, we're going to have some hearing trouble. So I guess this would be the safer bet. However, it just did not sound good. So, I really wish they sounded better. That being said, maybe you feel differently, so definitely give them a try. And let me know what you think, post your comments. Like I said, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your uncle, tell your aunt, tell your dogs, tell your cats, tell your rats, tell your lizards, tell your cousins, your brothers, your sisters. Wow, a lot of that rhymed. That was pretty good. I'm gonna write that down. That should be like my final thoughts sort of song. Alright guys, well hope you guys enjoyed this review and hope it helped out a little bit. Again, don't stray away from them, but definitely look at your other options. Alright? Take it easy.